On.
Welcome to Group 2's presentation of our marketing plan. We chose the Honors College, Honors.utah.edu website and their study abroad initiatives to build our campaign around. This is our project team. It includes Eduardo Gomez, Rebecca Rasmussen, Tiago Roque, and me, Jennifer. In this presentation, we will overview our efforts and conclude with our results and recommendations for the future. A little bit about the Honors College. It's been around for a long time, but recently we've received a lot of new attention and threefold increase in our applications, and now we really want to hyper target who we're getting applications from, who we're admitting, and build up our study abroad programs.
Okay, for our project, we decided to come up with two different goals. The first goal with this project was to increase out-of-state interest in the University of Utah and the Honors College, which we will cover more in ad groups 1 and 2 later on. And the second goal that we have was to increase study abroad program awareness, interest, and participation from current and prospective students and their parents, which will be covered in groups 3 and 4. Prior to start our project, we decided to do the appropriate research, and we referred to Google Analytics to see the current traffic and current visitors of the Honors.utah.edu website. And we identified some traffic from the visitors. Also, we used the information from the Honors College, including analysis of previous years of applicants pool, the Generation C behavior, which include a lot of parental involvement, and on the analysis of the honor students, including the goal-oriented and high-performing. And also, we attracted selling points. We research on the attractive selling points of the University of Utah Honors Program and Utah in general. So on the target geo visitors, we noticed that the website was currently having a lot of traffic on the states of Los Angeles, Boise, Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, and we decided to target those cities in particular for campaign. That will be covered more, and I will explain more on that on groups 1 and 2. And the second target geolocation was on the in-state or around the Salt Lake City area, which we will cover 50 miles radius. And this group will be covered in ad groups 3 and 4. So for the ad groups number 1, our target was prospective students who are out of the state of Utah. The age was from 15 to 20, and this is pretty much high school students looking for college. We targeted both genders, male and female, and we leave the socioeconomic spectrum to be broad so that we can cover all ranges from the spectrum. And these are students who usually have like high achievements or are like looking for recognition. The second group was for the parents of the prospective students who are out of the state. This group covers ages 45 to 64 and includes male and female. And like we mentioned before, Generation C involves a lot of parental for making decisions for college. Again, we didn't want to narrow it in the socioeconomic spectrum to a specific target, so we leave it really broad there. And the interest of this group is parents who are like involved with the progress of their students. The third group is current students that live in the state of Utah. So this group is ages from 18 to 24, covers male and females. Again, we leave it open for any socioeconomic spectrum. And the interests, these are again like students who are high achievers or that are looking for honors. And the last group is the parents of current students who live in the state of Utah from ages 45 to 64, cover male and female and from all the spectrum of socioeconomic. And again, parents who are very involved with the education of their children. One unique strategy that we feel that we are using in our campaign was that the Honors College and programs and other colleges don't use the CPC advertising for the study abroad options. So we are capturing all that market for our campaign. Second unique strategy was that the UofU Honors College pretty much stand out among top of the Honors College. And here we mentioned a few other universities, but we are like really high rank. And the last one, but not least, is that we are targeting parents in the involvement of prospective students. So that was a really good find that we actually use in our campaign.
So moving on to the campaign settings, we start this SEO campaign focused on search, and we start with the $50 budget by day. One important thing about this is that we set specific locations regarding to the places that we've been working on. We set the bidding to manual, so Google don't drain our campaign money with the dynamic functionality that they have. We created a campaign on July the 5th, but we start rolling it from the 11th up to July 19th. And moving on, we have the ad group settings. So one specific thing about this slide in ad group settings is that we focus on moving to the next slide, please, Eduardo. So we focus in having the full maximum CPC to $3. So each one of the 4 groups don't go over this number. And we're going to discuss about the results in the following slides. Going to the next slide, we have the keywords. So we're starting working with more than 800 keywords, but as our campaigns were evolving, we decided to focus on the most important ones, the ones that are related to Honors.edu. And we end up with 272 keywords that we're going to discuss a little bit of the results in the end of the presentation. And moving on to the next slide, talking about the text ads, one functionality that helped us a lot is that the usage of the keywording section in each one of the ads. We started working with 22 of them, but as soon as we were seeing the results, we changed to 31, and that's the number of ads that we had by the end of the campaign, and also the numbers we're going to explain then. And moving on.
So based on the way that we set up the campaign, we made 2 different rounds of revisions. First, prior to starting the campaign, and then second, mid-campaign. The majority of the revisions we made pre-campaign start were to narrow those keywords. We started too broad and needed to really focus in on what was going to be most important to searchers. As far as mid-campaign revisions, first we deleted study abroad location-only campaign keywords. So for example, we had wasted a lot of ad dollars on just targeting Patagonia, where people were searching for vacations rather than for study abroad opportunities. We also paused words with exchange in them. We found that these types of keywords seem to be attracting students that may be interested in pre-college opportunities rather than opportunities concurrent with college attendance. We also added additional text ads to connect more with Ghana and ecology study abroad opportunities in order to try and improve the quality score for some of our keywords. And then we made edits to the landing page specifically to discuss the value of study abroad, and we included a backlink to a New York Times article highlighting the value of participating in study abroad. We also included on the landing page a link to the program admissions page. And then finally, we implemented Google Ads recommendations to include African studies in the keywords.
Our campaign really began with building a landing page specific for this campaign and making sure that that page connected in with all of our targeting ad words and keywords. So our highlights are that we were successful with the parent groups. They resulted in most of our clicks. Yet when we look at our demographics, it's found to be that most of the clicks are coming from the younger people. So we're thinking that parents and students are looking over this material together. And it does have a pretty nice click-through rate for a lot of these text ads. Probably our lowest being the students in state. And that I think is okay because we have other ways of reaching those students. So the ads were written for both the parents and the students to interact with. And because they were written that way, I think it functioned that way. And we saw interaction from both groups. And we know from our experience in honors that parents are writing over half of the emails, calling in over half the time to ask questions, and sometimes when they call in, they're even pretending to be their college students. So they really are setting themselves as the college student in that mind frame when searching as well. Our campaign top performing keywords were really the most specific ones, or the ones where there was no doubt that our website, our landing page that we created, had everything to do with those pages, like study abroad, best countries to study abroad, best places to study abroad. If you look a little further down on our keyword list, you'll also see top performances from the University of Utah, Honors College at the UofU, etc. So we're getting a nice amount of clicks there. Unfortunately, because we started with the student exchange program, we did burn a little bit of money there on those keywords that we found to not be yielding any click-through rates or high bounce rates rather. So we quickly disabled and paused those. And below that keyword, you'll see what really performed for us. Campaign results, our average cost per click, even though we set that cap at 3, remained just a titch over $2. And we had our lowest bounce rate with the students from out of state, which is really, that demographic is at the heart of who we're trying to recruit to some of these programs. So that's great for us. And we had a nice amount of clicks from the in-state and out-of-state parents, and a nice share in New York, which is a surprise for us and a coup because we don't actually receive all that many applications from New York students.
So in reflecting on the campaign, we had some key takeaways on what we executed very well. First, it worked really well to break down the targeting by both parents and students into dual target. And a lot of our assumptions about how to target those ads and how to, what type of language to use in those ads ended up being effective, and the assumptions were accurate. It also worked really well to use Google Analytics geo-targeting data as a starting point for which locations out of state to focus our targeting on. And it also finally worked very well to not limit our campaign targeting based on income. We found that our top clicks came from below median household incomes. And if we would have used different targeting strategies for income, we would have excluded engagement from a key demographic that Honors is seeking to attract.
In the future, Honors would consider running campaigns again for our study abroad options, maybe some of our scholarship options, and awareness of honors in general. What we've learned is that specificity of keywords and imagining the intent of the searcher is super important when choosing keywords, and always continually monitoring and updating what we're reading through ads and analytics. Our bounce rates were still pretty high, so in the future we think about A/B testing, maybe creating multiple landing page options. So we thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and the Honors College thanks the class and this team for their work getting the word out.